like you and I were hoping so much that it would before today started.
Yep, and the only reason, by the way, guys, that Skana is 96% presence, it's because it's fearless, and so it cannot be seen in the next couple of games. So it is still 100% presence absolutely everywhere. That stat was just a little bit confusing to me, and then I recalled it, so if you guys were also a little bit worried about it.
Yeah, like this game, for example. No presence in this one.
See? No presence. Apart from there on the top right, poking his head in, reminding us all of the mistakes that KT made in game number 1. Let's see whether they can remedy them as Mbessa and the Azir. We're sticking with the A's on the side of KT, and the Oner and Ashe going to be removed here on T1's side.
The Azir ban, you know, considering how good BDD is at it and how well he can play through Cuz when he has the pick, I feels like it's hindering more than helping.
Yeah, but they don't want to first pick it. So
yeah.
I think anything that you can't really first pick is what you need to be banning on blue. And the Callista going to be the final ban here makes a lot of sense. Jace sneaking through. That will be the first pick. A flex between Perfect and BDD, but I expect it going to Perfect.
BDD has so many, and I don't want to harp on this too much, but he has so many answers to the Azir. Like his Sylas he played last time when there wasn't an Azir. He's also great at Talia, which, you know, was not banned in the first banning phase here. So I find it puzzling, especially when you're going to be fishing for first pick Jace here, which BDD is very experienced on. The Ezreal we were kind of clamoring for before is going to get locked away for Smash this time around very early in the draft, but Ezreal priority has been pretty high this tournament in general, especially in Game 2s where the AD carry pool gets whittled down a little bit. So I'm not surprised to see this. You don't have to lock the Leona necessarily here, but it's definitely the one that he's likely looking to grab as his pair.
Ooh, Nidalee going to be coming through here for Oner. Feels a little bit like a pick away as well, as Cuz would have liked to play that. Of course, we saw it work out so well for DRX paired alongside the Jace that was actually piloted by Yukal in that instance.
Do they just lock Zyra? I really hope not. Okay, I'm much more on the page with this. Blocking the Xin Zhao away.
Yeah, it means that we might see, like, I wouldn't mind a Talia on that one as well. Oh, okay. Doctor, just thinking about jinxing. There it is. Okay.
Has been known to play a very good jinx.
Arcane composition, everyone? Batches?
Victor's banned.
Well, not
but Echo's up.
Echo's up. Let's go. Hey, BDD could like play that, or Cuz could play. It's a flex pick. There we go. It's mid or jungle.
All right, they're gonna try to deny the Leona,
which actually spoilers for the next one.
But like Leona is you know, very strong with Ezreal, obviously, and can work well with Jinx. Helps set up picks for her to get excited. The rest of the draft, though, pretty open-ended in that regard, so we don't really know how this is going to turn into more of a pick front-to-back composition just yet. It also could be that we see BDD play the Jace, and they end up getting a tank in the top lane, like a Scion or an Ornn or something like that, and that could be the way. Less likely with the Jax to be locked in here, though, for Doran.
Yeah, I don't mind Jax as far as setup for Nidalee is concerned. It's not quite the same level of CC that you can get from something like a Renekton.
It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, but does kind of work out if they can start bullying Perfect. And Perfect is not exactly having the greatest day so far. So we'll see whether Doran can continue that. Still, next round of bans to come in here. And mid lane might be targeted. Jungle could be targeted on the other side. You can see the Zyra already taken away from Cuz just to try and eliminate some of these AP options. I imagine Lilia probably to be removed immediately afterwards.
That's my expectation as well, because I think most people are thinking in this draft with the Jinx here that the Jace is probably not going top lane into the Jax. Braum makes a lot of sense here. A lot of power in the lane swap setup, and you know, just in general, a very strong pick right now. Sejuani banned away. Can help you set up picks for this Jinx. You know, Sejuani hits, then Shock Blast hits, then Jinx hits a Zap and hits an ultimate, and then boom, she's excited. She's popping off in the team fight. So strong there. See what this final support ban is?
Is it going to be Galio Denial from Faker here? Because I think Galio fits this KT draft so well, and KT have now protected themselves from picking Corki, which is a great look for them.
I thought maybe
from Keria.
Bard would be a potential angle. The Pantheon support has been the flavor of the month, you could say.
It did not go so well. Gave me a lot of channel points, though, when DK did that.
I like the Pyke a little bit more than the Karma here. The Karma is safer.
It's so much lane pressure as well.
Yeah, and no matter what, like if you... The cool thing about Karma, and we haven't seen that much Karma despite lane swaps, is if you're laning into a top laner, you're like, oh man, good luck. If you're laning into just any normal bottom dude, you're like, oh, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty effective either way, and can help set up Nidalee. It's a little bit tough, but it can work. Wukong here.
This is interesting.
It can really help the Jinx front to back quite effectively and can be an extra peel tool. So I think this is a pretty safe choice. The problem is that, because it didn't look like he wanted to play it, the problem is that like it's just going to get completely out farmed by Nidalee in most cases and isn't going to have the same poke impact.
Ooh,
okay, this
double
is,
resets.
This is wild.
That's a bit of fun. Maybe go even further and lock in Katarina instead, BDD. Nah, it's going to be Ahri. Okay, so that'll be where the magic damage is coming from, and that will mean that BDD is going to be pretty deadly this game because a lot of armor is going to be necessary. It does feel to me like Jinx is a little bit out of place in this draft, personally, because I think the only real peel you're seeing is a bit of a Zed hover there from Keria. We'll see what Faker is actually going to be playing, as Nefiri would be fun.
You know, if he plays Zed, it's just a throwaway because it's not.
Yeah,
LCK.
I think the Galio makes so much sense.
Yeah. I mean, Galio into Ahri is already incredibly strong, because especially like when Ahri thinks she's like, oh, I'm just going to go proc electrocute. Be careful. You watch out. You end up getting caught by that Galio. He combos you at level 3. He has that magic resistance built up into his kit, and it's very annoying to deal with his shield. And if you're trying to go in as Ahri and you get caught and get taunted, then it's just a disaster. Has great setup for the Nidalee too. If you can set up for a punch or a taunt, the Nidalee Spear always connects. So I'm going to be honest, I feel like some parts of this draft for KT Roster I could get behind, like the Jinx plus Leon. I'm like, cool, we build around a pick comp. Now you have the Ahri, but just remember what you're playing into. The shields from this Karma, the mobile Ezreal. Who are you picking? Who are you finding in T1's composition? Who's the one who's going to die to set it up? A Jax? Probably not, you know? And that's where I feel like T1, or rather KT Roster should have pivoted based on what we saw there in the draft, and they did not, so they're hyper-indexing on this. Now, there's synergy in this draft for sure. I just wonder what they hit, what their grab to set up for the Jinx when we actually get down to brass tacks in these team fights.
Well, the one issue that I'm looking at on T1's side of things is their lack of any sort of engage option outside of just Galio dropping. And you need someone to already be in there. I think if a Jax does it, if he gets a really good flank angle, then there's your option, I guess. But outside of that, there's no real way to get in. So much of this hinges on Doran is what it kind of feels like to me. Playing well so far. See how he goes right here. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of the Telecom War, the first of the LCK Cup ever. In the history of everything ever, no LCK Cup has ever had a Telecom War like they're having one today.
We could have the record of most Telecom Wars ever this year.
Oh my God.
If they're both in the same group in LCK and we get the triple round robin of that, then they meet in playoffs multiple times. I mean,
we could break the record
MSI
for the amount of Telecom Wars in an LCK Cup, like every single time they face off.
Sure,
I just absolutely insane.
In the year though, like
that is true.
2025,
actually.
like this additional one, you know, they could play against each other in playoffs potentially, and then you have, you know, first 2 round robins at LCK, and the triple if they're in the same group.
And they could face off twice
playoffs
as well in like like lower bracket and upper bracket and things like this.
Now, what if they're in play-ins too? I mean, consider that.
Man.
So I'm just saying.
It's pretty exciting. For Telecom War lovers, it is a great thing. And hopefully we just never see Skarner ever again in the Telecom War also, on top of all of that.
Now, let's talk about these drafts again, because you mentioned something that's a really good point, is the lack of engage for T1 outside of, you know, Galio and the Jax, which is perfect. Spaces really well here with his acceleration gate.
Yeah, acceleration gate actually giving him the extra movement speed, so the walk at you and do stun with Counter-Strike just doesn't work.
Kind of unusual to see that at level 1, but in this matchup works out really well in this particular case. But yeah, it can lead to a kind of a weird game state later on if the game is pretty even, where it's kind of this unstoppable force, which is KT Roster in this case, versus immovable object. The anti-dive for T1 is pretty insane. Like, they have the shielding from Keria, they have the Counter-Strike, they have Galio taunt and ult, and, you know, the mobility of the Ezreal, and the mobility of everyone because they have a Karma, makes it really weird how these team fights can happen.
Where did Duck go?
Yeah, he took it back, looks like, and
I guess they took a fair bit of damage. That may have been the outcome here, as Dokdom is now standing in the brush because Keria is in between the turrets, and he knows exactly where he is.
Remember last time when Dokdom hid? It didn't work out this time either.
Yeah, and now he's getting no experience. He's still level 1. Smash is level 3 because Keria actually gave up a fair bit of it, and Arcane Shift has to be buffered. Very nicely done there from Smash. That one last pesky minion meant that he didn't take any of the turret damage.
Yeah.
And now Dokdom can barely do anything in this lane. Oh god, already down to half health.
Smash has cleanse still too, by the way, so he's like not scared of Wei even a little bit.
Yep. Oh man, he doesn't even get that melee minion experience? Oh, it's an absolute disaster.
I told you guys.
Cuz was clearing on the top side of the map, so he does manage to get at least that, but still.
Smash is really good at doing what Guma does, which is winning lanes with Reckless, or in this case, Keria. You know, first time, but he's showing some success with it. When they have a winning bottom lane, he excels at it, actually. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
He's a master of it, I would say.
I also think, I mean, now finally, Dokdom might hit level 2, but it's like the damage has been done. This is already doomed. He can't even kill the minions. The minions are too strong.
Yeah,
he's still on 1 CS.
Yeah, he's 24 behind.
God, okay, there's the second one. Doubled his CS in that one moment. Absolutely gorgeous. Oner's going to come on over, and they are just 3 pickings underneath this turret right now.
Wait, hold on. Wukong pre-6, maybe he can bail him out.
Well, he is going to move over here. He's level 4, has the double buffs. As Dokdom gets that 10 gold. That's more gold than he's got from most of these minions, to be honest with you. Okay, now they're going to make their way in. Keria misses the Q. No spear going to connect there either. As Dokdom, gets a few of them. So he's sitting on 9 now, but he's still so incredibly far behind. He's going to have to go for a back once again.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that feeling when you're trying to dodge like a Xerath ult and you're like, ooh, you know, I hope this goes well. I mean, that's Dokdom's whole experience here, as he's not getting minions and is 25 CS behind. And yeah, he's 600 gold behind without any kills going over.
Yeah.
And he's not having a good time. He's still level 2.
Doran is also not having a very good time in this matchup against Perfect. Perfect actually changing up his playstyle quite nicely moving into this game. Playing very aggressively, finding the angles that he needs. And Faker also, I mean, he's doing phenomenally well as far as farm is concerned. They'll be very even by the time this minion wave does fall down. And yeah, no notes really on the T1 side, but KT, they would really like to have an 80 carry. He managed to buy some brown bags. Smash is going to come up and just triage this lane for Doran. And the Jax moving into the lane with the Jinx is going to mean that he's going to have free farm in that scenario as well.
Yeah. TP to come through here is Perfect's going to come up here and try to put some pressure onto Smash. Level 6 doesn't matter that much for Jace, but does have a level lead, and that's some additional stats here. But it's not a true 1v1 because Keria shows up. He has to leave, and until Cuz hits level 6, he doesn't really want to get too involved. BDD, on the other hand, is going to come up here. They have a really nice setup here for Grubs now. Wade also on the flank, and T1 need to be really respectful here. Faker can ult in, but it's a risky call.
Yeah, Honeyfruit going to be eaten here by BDD, as Cuz will be able to take down the first Grub. Can actually just back away now if they would like to, but instead they're going to pull it out. Perfect going to just shock blast the wave. See what he can get done here, as the Grandmaster's Might now available here for Doran. Perfect is keeping KT in this game, man. His control of the top lane, his pushback on Smash there, the group that they have with Cuz coming up there super fast to the Grubs means it's really difficult for T1 to enter. And even with Jinx, you know, not having a ton of money, KT are able to get the first objective on lock here. And, you know, first blood's still on the table for them potentially. It's probably not going to happen anywhere around Dokdom at the moment, but certainly could still be a window into getting that first feats of strength set up. And, you know, that's, I think, about as good as it could be here for KT is actually getting all 3. And he gets all that CS too. Yeah, that's better than getting all 3, man. That's the feeling that they're looking for. Only down 600 gold, despite how, you know, doom and gloom we've been about how this bottom lane has gone. The fact that Dokdom didn't exist until only a few minutes ago. And you can see Smash already with his Sheen completed, has his tier stacking up now as well. Cuz going to be moving on over. Keria turns up at the same time. We'll just have to see whether the lack of engage from T1 is going to rear its head, right? Because not having the ability to sort of turn on a dime and just try to start a fight when you want to is difficult. And unless Doran is just going to be diving into the middle of them and trust falling alongside Faker, it's going to be a difficult time. However, if T1 just have full control of the area, they have a lot of range, they have a lot of poke, and that could be their avenue to success.
That's what I'm really thinking is going to be what this game looks like, based on what we've seen so far. But being 30 CS behind, as anyone who's played solo queue with a support that's trolling you as an AD carry, as long as you don't die, though, and you keep farming, that 30 CS gap means less and less the longer the game goes on. And if you're set up for success in a team fight, which isn't the case usually when your support's trolling, but in a pro game like this, Duckdom still has some angles back into relevance. It's not so big of a gap that it's unwinnable. And
BDD.
Perfect, man, he is crushing it.
BDD's committed to the ulti in. Doran, Grandmaster's Might does come down. Teleport from Faker gets him there very, very slowly. It's a bit of a turtle port, unfortunately, at this stage of the game.
Did you just make that right now? I haven't heard.
No, I've been wanting to say it all season. I'm
oh
not gonna lie.
God,
I'm not gonna lie.
So good.
It's all right. Good. T1 still, I mean, they've taken a couple of plates down. If Wei had been hit by that, he would be immediately trying to go home. And I think Duckdom is right there with him. Oh my God, the damage. It's kind of absurd.
Well, I mean, they didn't get the kill topside, but they got Faker's teleport. You know, so now, right now, BD has a pretty big advantage in mid lane. Doran's going to be able to get, I think, probably all of that farm there, it looks like, but still taking a bit of a tempo lead. And we've seen Duckdom constantly try to get whatever minions he can. He's going topside now. He's like, maybe I can get those. He's really just not farming very well. Given the circumstances, I think it's fine, and he has had some great CS under turret. But it's the first few team fights we have to see KT set him up to where he can get back into this game. If they lose a team fight or two, then it's like, well, now it's doomed. I mean, now you just can't do anything. You're just a paperweight in this game.
Yeah. Duckdom does make it up to grab this cannon minion. That is huge news.
It is.
And getting towards the weird item that has a name that I find difficult to pronounce. It starts with Y.
The Yuntal's arrows?
Yeah, that's the one. I used to be so confident with it, and I'm just not anymore.
He can also, like, make a slight, like, global impact with his ultimate. You know, what if he steals a kill that way? I mean, that's half the gold lead that Smash has just washed away. I mean, there are ways.
Yeah, that's, in theory, a possibility. Okay, Turtle Port is gone. It is regular teleport again now. And Doran is not having the same game as he was last time around. I don't think it's going to matter too much unless he starts dying in these side lanes. And no one's done that just yet. Remember, the time to beat is 20 minutes approximately for the latest First Blood.
That is true. Now, Doran is still very relevant, even behind in CS as a side lane threat. Wei does have flash, should be okay here. He's not even going to take that much damage to the clips. But
oh my God, that's so much poke. True Shot Barrage kills him!
All right. Well, I thought I cast her.
That's what happens when you get hit by everything, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
And when Eclipse is down, it hurts a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, well, that should be an equalization of grubs.
Okay, well.
And that's also First Blood, so
yep.
It's a lot of extra money going over to T1, and the fact that Smash picks it up, oh God.
Great True Shot Barrage from him. The thing about this situation, I was going to mention going to the Jax and all that before Wei really overextended there is, you know, if they get 4-5, the Jax is significantly weaker as a side lane threat because he doesn't have those grubs in his pocket. He's down on CS, but now they're even in grubs.
Oh dear.
And, I mean, Duckdom is not in a safe place.
Well, in goes Wei. He's trying to get revenge as BDD is dashing forward. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't do anything, but that does not matter. They still answer the death of Wei with a kill on Keria. Support for support.
Yeah.
No First Blood for KT.
Duckdom doesn't get any of the gold, unfortunately, but he's going to feel a little bit less pressured here as he continues to try to CS in this game. Duckdom's just playing a different game from everybody else right now.
He's playing Triage Simulator. He's just doing his very best to try and keep himself alive as much as possible.
You guys remember that old DS game Trauma Center? So, I mean, Wei is like so out of bounds here. Avoids the spear, and then watch this True Shot Barrage. Spear also hit.
Yeah, the spear also hit. That's so crazy.
He had
so much damage.
He had the flash to live, and he didn't. And then Keria here, this actually looked initially like it was a really nice dive setup for Duckdom, but KT actually matched the play really well. A bit of an overextension there from the Karma, and Keria is taken out. 1,000 gold, the advantage here for T1, but there is still that team fight power in this KT draft. I think we're not quite going to be writing the obituary just yet. It's not looking good if you're a KT fan, but There's still a few more opportunities.
Yeah, we were calling the game over in draft in the last game. I'm happy to say that we're not calling the game over yet at all. Although it is looking a little rough, especially for the Jinx. Still, you do have a fair bit of longevity, and as we mentioned before, these engage issues might start rearing their head on T1 side, unless they can just hit all the poke like they just did last time, right? They do have somewhat of a range advantage, not necessarily consistently, with the fact that Dr. does have a very long range with his rockets, as Cuz looking to deny this feat of strength.
Okay, this is a really, really scary position, though, for KT Rolster. If they lose this fight decisively, I mean, they might not have a way back in this game.
Yeah, Vegas teleport just about to come back up again as Wei goes in, finds the solar flare. Super Mega Death Rocket landing as Keria so incredibly low. Doran, no option, cannot do anything, and there goes the Drake as well. It's beautifully played here for KT to make sure that they deny those feats of strength and get even more. And now the Jace able to teleport back to the top side, so that first turret blood not going to go over as well. BDD with some spare time in the bot lane will be answered by T1 trying to push in mid here. Yeah, like there will be an opportunity here for KT to be able to remove these minions.
Only a plate goes over. It's very split. BD is going to get one though solo, and the bottom lane much stronger. We'll see if Doran teleports to the bottom lane, because he's going to trade with Faker, who will get interrupted but then punches his way away. You can see that on the minimap. He's going to teleport bottom instead here, but BD at the last possible second grabbing that plate is pretty huge. Now, this is kind of a protect the president type of composition when you are going to front to back like this. Wei goes in and engages. The rocket here from Dukdom, and the target selection on the Keria is fantastic. Doran, unfortunately, is left out to dry. The Cyclone locks him in place. Really well played there from KT. Just divide and conquer. They didn't even have to really do that front to back. They didn't really even have to protect Dukdom in this case because they split the team fight instantly. Wei's engage initially looked a little bit suspect, but the way they all followed up on it, the way they were able to collapse on the Keria was really well played, and the Doran's just kind of unfortunately alone to die, and that's a small dent in the 80 carry gold difference.
Well, now Doran going to get comboed here as Perfect just boops him away. Fair bit of value. Cinders all over the ground as we are gifted a Infernal Soul this game.
Second of the day.
Yeah. And the gold, man, it's so even. This game feels playable this time around for KT. They've done a pretty good job trying to even it out. Next objective will be feats of strength for either team. Or if this next turret is going to go down, Oner going to be able to steal away that Rift Scuttler. Very, very nice. As a bit of a change in position here between Doran and Perfect. Doesn't work out so well for Doran, though, as he does lose his counter-strike. True Shot Barrage to get rid of the minion wave, as this could be a solo kill unless Wei decides to come over and steal it. But the leap strike going to be there, and Doran will survive for the moment.
Jinx Rocket,
Super
though.
Mega Death Rocket is sailing by majestically.
Well, that's a turret still here.
Yeah, oh, it's going to be a race, though. Let's see how quickly Perfect can take this down. Smash just needs another one, and it's not going to win. That was the first turret going over to KT. So once again, it's just whoever gets the next objective is going to get those feats of strength.
Yeah. 3 seconds till the Herald spawns here. Having that topside turret, though, feels very valuable if you can control that topside leading into the Herald fight. But mid-turret, similar story. Very, very close game here. Suddenly, KT only 300 gold behind. And yes, there's a big gap in the bottom lane, but there's an almost equally big gap in the top lane, as Doran is finding himself victim to Perfect, who's basically decided that Jace is like Gragas with a hammer. He's like, oh, Counter-Strike, I've got a little Gragas belly hammer for you on that one. And he just keeps pushing him away, keeps taking these good trades. I mean, look at the build here for Doran as well. It's quite bizarre.
Yeah.
Trying to tank
the good old
Jace,
tank Jace. Tank Jax, understanding that he is like the one guy that is going to be frontlining this game. Dukdom, tagged by a spear, is exactly the person you do not want tagged by a spear or by the True Shot Barrage. As now Doran looking for that angle. They poke Shelly in the eye. Let's see whether they do manage to lock this one down. That's the steal from Oner. That gets them the feats of strength, but can they win the team fight? Doran already going to go down. Dukdom getting excited, and the essence is picked up by BDD. Throws the Orb of Deception through, and it looks like KT just wanted to get out of there, but Faker says no! Dukdom goes down, and BDD has to flash to get out of the way. Spirit Fire going to give him that extra movement speed. He gets himself out of there. Dukdom not so lucky. Wei was already dead, and T1 getting the feats of strength and getting themselves the Rift Herald to continue pushing forward.
This is so massive for T1 and KT Rolster. They got the initial pick on the Doran. They do not, however, get the Herald, like you say. and are unable to win the subsequent fight. The Super Mega Death Rocket actually does a lot of AoE damage to the team, but doesn't help them isolate a single target here as Faker goes in on Doran's engage. You can see the game plan here for T1, but Doran is actually pulled back obviously way out in the middle of nowhere here. Faker would have been maybe an ideal target here, but BDD is not able to close the gap. The Rocket doesn't hit Faker, and he just goes in for the re-engage. Duckdom has nothing, no way to get out. BDD, of course, will be more fortunate because he's a little bit more mobile, but it was almost so good for KT there, but it's a huge win for T1. And I mean, it's still a playable game here, but that's a big deficit. Because Doran may be
yeah, I've
isolated.
seen this movie before, but the Zenith Blade not going to connect. And that turret is still up. Oner also in the area. Keria going to turn up as well. And Shock Blast going to be traded for a Mist Spear. That is going to be the Dragon spawning, though. Faker is on the top side that has Teleport up and available. And T1 looking to grab this first Infernal. Cuz I don't think wants to give this one away without a fight. Control Ward going over the wall. They are going to try and clear out whatever vision they can find. As Faker still waiting. Knows the BDD is up here as well, so has some opportunity to stick around on the top side of the map.
Yeah, this is a really, really awkward spot here for KT. Last time I said that, though, they were able to fight their way through with Wei going for a crazy engage. Faker can both show up with his ult and his teleport, so
yeah,
being even generally close to the objective is a big problem for KT Rolster. And they just can't really have that same Wei, so this time he's isolated.
Oh god, and he's by himself. Like, why are we doing this? He does manage to get some CC onto Smash, who may not have wanted to go this far forward, but Faker is there to protect him. Oner in the backline, Cuz almost kills him, finally does. Managed to take him, that's a solo kill? That's kind of insane. Where is Smash going? This fight is all over the place, but Duckdom is the one that's truly isolated, and Perfect does not find the Shock Blast. Yeah, okay, it almost looks okay for KT, but T1 really turned that one around, and it should be a free dragon for them.
Yeah, close but no cigar. A story of many almosts for KT Rolster in this series, and this is just another example. As Wei is dead, so he has to commit. Now, Cuz is looking for the flank here with the Blast Cone. He can still use Warrior's Trickster if he actually has that Blast Cone to close the gap. So he basically has an insane gap close. Goes on to the Nidalee here. Smash takes a ton of damage, and then Duckdom here unfortunately tries to link up with the top side of the team fight instead of chasing Smash with Perfect, and ends up just kind of running into 3 angry T1 members. So not the right call there, I think, but it was a tough situation either way. I don't know if he lives, but going that direction certainly helped Smash get out of dodge, who's sitting on 3 kills now. Kind of miraculously survives there with the help of his teammates. And it was a cool idea, like, and they salvaged Wei so well there with that flank from Cuz, but it's just too little too late. It just keeps being 1 step forward, 2 or 3 steps backwards for KT in this series. Just like when they almost killed Faker last game. And, you know, it's just these kind of small things that are starting to really pile up here.
Yeah, although there's no Skarner on the opposing side, so I think it's infinitely better here for KT. I think KT fans can feel like it's not just completely over right now, as Faker gets a cute little taunt and stops Perfect from pushing this one up. Looks like Cuz is going to be able to get this Infernal Drake without too much hassle. And it's Arakan towards the top side of the map that might be the option here as far as a trade for T1. Or maybe catching Duckdom in transition.
Top turret is an opportunity for
Oh, BDD dives on top of Oner. Solar Flare is going to stun him up there as well. He gets heals, but it's not going to be enough. And now Cuz, Warrior Trickster over, looks for the Cyclone, gets the knock up. Super Mega Death Rocket connects. Smash gets over the wall though, and that Shock Blast does not land. They may need to take a consolation carrier, and there it is. Cuz going to be able to knock down that kill, and with 2 dead, one of them being the jungler, it may be time to grab themselves another Khan, as this True Shot Barrage is going to soften them up momentarily, teleport in to stop Doran from just destroying their house. BDD wants to remove the minion wave, but it's not going to be enough, actually. That turret is going to die.
The True Shot Barrage from Smash is actually super valuable here. I mean, these health bars are so low. Doran wants to come in and contest. They may have an angle. Faker has TP as well.
Yeah, the heroic entrance going to be there. Without Smite, it could be a dangerous one. Duckdom with the DPS. And Cuz almost just dead to Arakan, but nope, they're going to be able to take it down. Now with that buff, it's going to be difficult for Doran to really do too much, and he is just going to catch the wave. The rest of KT going to back away. And so that is a big objective now picked up here on the KT side of things, but they need to make it work for them.
Yeah, now, I mean, this is the first almost that's a KT almost.
They're trading it for inner turret, mid, and top. I don't know whether that's worth, because Shelly's going to come through and make things very, very difficult here.
We'll see what they can get, because Perfect is going in.
Yeah, he's going in, and he may as well. He does have the Otacon buff, and they're going to take down Keria, so it's already worth it, I guess. BDD dashing around, gets a bit of extra essence by helping take down the support. Let's have a look at this fight one more time, though, as Oner, he stayed alive for a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah, he's just so squishy, and it's a really nice follow-up here from Wei. And with his heal, like you say, he survives a little bit longer here, but this is a huge win. Smash's ultimate, though, as he is able to escape here narrowly, is actually really massive. It's almost enough to give Doran the opportunity to stop them from doing Otacon. As I really want to watch live because this is really important. So
getting the double cyclone here as Doran with that counter strike just standing vigil, but he's not going to save Oner. Perfect going down very low. Cuz as well is in trouble. And wait, never mind. He's actually going to be okay. Warrior Trickster comes through, and remember they have the Otacon buff, so he's playing with reckless abandon. Wei going in. Dom is probably pretty dead at this point in time. Yeah, it's going to be Doran help blocking that one down.
Pretty rezzed.
Hey, there we go. But also still gives away a little bit of gold as BDD, cue the yakety sax. As he's underneath the enemy turret, looking to see whether he can take down Smash. He's not going to be able to.
It seems like a
charm from beyond the grave comes on through there.
Seems like nobody can kill Smash in this game. He has been so close to death many times, but again, it's been a game of almost. But KT almost getting wiped on Otacon, but not actually dying and actually successfully taking that objective. Looked like it might have been a big opportunity for them, but it wasn't that huge. Okay, Cuz, can he get the interrupt? Not without his ultimate.
Yeah, and not without any ability to really know what's going on in there, and so doesn't actually do so. So teleport is going to be utilized there from Doran. I think they know that happened.
So this is where things start to get, it starts off really well for KT. Cuz's angle is really nice here. Taunt goes on the way.
As well, really good angle.
Perfect is playing such a good game here on this Jax. Once again, just going super deep here to look for some additional damage. Unfortunately, with this Jace, you're very vulnerable, very squishy, so he will, of course, just go back to the fountain. And they try to turn this into a big set of kills plus inner turret. They're just not quite able to finish and land fully on the mark, I guess, cross the finish line on that play. Nice try, though, with this dive. You can see, though, how difficult it is to fully commit into T1, especially when there's a turret standing in your way.
Yeah. I mean, it was Otacon, so maybe we can say that they're redeemed a little bit on that front. I'm going to be able to pick up the red buff for the team, and now going to defend this inner turret. So Faker here on this bottom side, outers and inners is going to be just free money here for T1, who have really rid the map of these structures. And Smash has done so much damage. Yeah, he's really making things work for him. Dom, not so much himself.
Yeah, I feel like
we'll have to see whether the late game is going to be where Dom can actually thrive.
This game for Smash is definitely a little bit better showcase of what he individually is capable of. Because his positioning has been great. He's gotten out of so many sticky situations in this one. He's gotten high value out of his ultimates. He got the snipe onto Wei earlier. His True Shot Barrage was very, very strong earlier on. This one clears most of the minion wave. I mean, the guy is just, he can do no wrong. But no one's ever ulted a mid-wave with an Israel before. This guy's actually onto something.
He is. He's able to clear it out majoritively. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
That outer turret in the mid lane still stands. That's the ridiculous part. Is Wei is always so far up. Yeah, it's making me nervous.
He's the guy who wants to set up these traps, though, for T1. Yep. And this is really... again, KT walking a fine line here on this dragon.
Yeah, Cuz already getting it so incredibly low as Oner out of vision right now. Faker actually engaging onto Wei. He's not really the priority target. There's the Cyclone into the back line. Faker gets interrupted. No heroic charge for him. As now Smash might have his first death of the series, but no! He arcane shifts away! Keeps himself alive. It is going to be soul point for KT. They kill Oner. It is probably still a great trade for them. But the fact that Smash survives, that's sick. And Doran trying to get on in here as Dom able to get the Flame Chompers down. Leap Strike to avoid them. Dom gets taunted, but he does have the barrier. Can he keep himself alive? The answer's no. And there is the knock-up onto Cuz as well. Warrior Trickster comes in. He gets, oh my goodness, the Cinders to keep him alive. As, oh, Doran, you didn't want to take that one as the turret is going to finish him off. And BDD is going to be able to pick up that extra money. Smash, he's just taken away the enemy jungle, living life to the fullest.
This is such a wild
This is the telecom war we were looking for.
No, exactly. Okay, so the strategy here for KT starts to seem intentionally. Waze sacrifices himself to get cooldowns to set up an engage where DuckDom then gets excited. And it's been working out sort of well. The problem is they're a little bit split this time around. It's Lunch Smash, you called it out, barely able to get over the wall there, has the shield from Keria, gets True Shot Barrage value once again. And then Faker is the one who helps clean up the end of this fight.
Okay.
Yeah, the world's smallest teleport, but it's actually kind of perfect.
Huge, because it's the only way you can close the gap here to get in here. Gets a flash as well, taunts DuckDom, puts him out of the fight. That's all the damage gone, because if DuckDom is able to somehow live there and BD is hitting these charms, the chase has to end. Otherwise, this is just a disaster for T1. Really well played here by Faker. A risky call, but it absolutely paid off. Doran's not too happy about how that ended, though.
Yeah, we're glad he didn't finish that word as well. So that is a little bit of a mistake on Doran's side, but as you can see with his build, this guy is playing support jacks this game, as he does amplify Faker's damage in this one with his Abyssal Mask. Kind of cute. I'm still not sure who's going to win this game, Wolf. I actually don't know. It is KT. They are behind about 2.5K as Perfect and Doran once again fighting.
You know, I feel like the winner of this game is Smash, no matter who wins. Whoever explodes.
Maybe the winner of the game is actually us.
Yeah, because he's just playing so well. BDD, I think, is his counterpart on the other side. Like, he's had a phenomenal game. Perfect, too, to be fair.
Yep.
And DuckDom, it's not like he's playing badly. He just was handicapped from the beginning.
Aw, and it's like 404, Cuz not found in Wolf's version of the.
All right, look, I just didn't want to say Wade's having a bit of a struggle.
He's got his fours in the wrong position.
Yeah, I'm like, everybody except Wade is having a pretty good time. Yeah. Wade is sacrificing himself, right? So that's why.
Yeah, I mean, all of KT can never perform at the same time. That would not be KT at all.
Yeah, somebody has to be Barrel in this case.
Exactly.
He's cosplaying.
Yeah.
Oh, the zap!
Oh, even gets the cat.
Does he die, though?
Dead. Yeah, because Smash just chases him down, has the extra movement speed from the Inspire, and it is so doomed. Like, this should be just Baron.
This time, wait, you're not supposed to go in. Nobody's there. You're not supposed to just go back in.
But DuckDom, you're not allowed to be there because Smash just chases you down and you die.
Everybody knows exactly, like literally every person who's played more than 10 games of League of Legends knows exactly that feeling where you're like, I zap that and I think it'll be okay. Like, I think I can get that. Like, hold on, let me zap that cannon and I need this money. I'm so desperate. I've been able to farm all game. It's not fair. They took my minions away. Look at DuckDom. He's like, hold on, let me zap this. God,
he was tunneling.
And then the speed up from Keria, maybe something he didn't calculate for, but Faker was also there.
Smash also hit every button, absolutely nailing it. Really nicely played. And now, there's just a casual Baron on T1. All just because DuckDom was a little bit too far up in the lane.
He did zap that minion, though.
He did get the cannon.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So, are we thinking, because Oner, I mean, it's not like he's had a bad game. He was definitely palmed for game one, but it was Skarner, so like, are we really weighing that highly? Or is it the narrative Smash vote, am I right?
100% it's the narrative Smash vote. There is no way it could be any other vote.
I feel like it just has to be the narrative Smash vote. I mean, he's a perfect KDA.
Yeah.
He died, one time in game one?
He got first blood in game one?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It was all Smash the whole time.
Mind-controlled way. Like, he has superpowers.
I mean, Faker also had a really good series, but let's see whether, you know, I mean, maybe we're being hasty. No, I don't think we're being too hasty having this discussion, as Faker is going to get caught out momentarily, going to get stopped by those flame chompers as Wei is dead, but can they kill Faker? The Cyclone comes in, and yes, they can! Keria to go down as well, and the resets are starting to come through. BDD does need to be careful because Smash, he gets charmed, and he immediately just Arcane Shift, cleanses, gets out. DuckDom almost just dies to that True Shot Barrage. And remember, there's a man advantage for KT, but it doesn't feel like it because Smash is here. And he's looking to just take matters into his own hands. Doran going golden at about 0 health. The zaps are connecting. You have to kill Smash, KT. You have to kill him, otherwise he will kill all of you as Perfect gets on top of him. There's the shutdown. And KT, they lose no one. Maybe and it's an ace. And that's Infernal Soul.
Maybe we were hasty. Every time you doubt KT, every time it's a unanimous prediction against him. I see that fan sign out in the crowd every now and then. They show the shot where the girl's got all the KT breads for the home stand or home ground or whatever it was called, and the KT wins, right? Like, this is just how it goes sometimes, but this is a big overextension from T1. And you're like, okay, man advantage, but Smash disadvantage. KT don't have that guy, but still, even he can't get it done.
Faker teleported in as well. That tower is not long for the world, and they lose the GOAT at the same time. Perfect is dealing with this, but what is going on? They're 1-3-1, and they're taking everything on the map. They have a gold lead out of nowhere. They have a Dragon Soul. I'm excited too, Dr. I don't blame you.
Blink and suddenly KT Roaster bringing you to game
but also, like,
feels like, but we're not there yet. But I mean, what?
It was Blink and then T1 had Baron out of nowhere as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, it's not actually League of Legends anymore. We're playing tennis or badminton or something like that.
Yeah. Oops.
Flame choppers.
Yeah.
Dr. Where are we going, buddy?
Dr. I think
he just doesn't walk very fast, you know?
He doesn't have flash either.
Yeah, he's now really not walking very fast. He's got barrier. Does manage to break those chains as Doran doesn't find the counter-strike. Keep walking. Flame chompers! And Dr. will live. He even did the fear barrier, and I love it.
Perfect dropping the acceleration gate for him.
Oh, there we go.
He was not walking fast, but he walked a few percentages faster for a second.
He looked so slow, man.
Oh, man, this is Faker teleporting to die. We've had a few of those this season. Yeah, that one wasn't his most ideal moment.
Oh, Smash. Oh, dear. Heroic entrance. That's fantastic. So Faker keeps the 80 carry alive, and now maybe they'll be able to get a turn. As Cuz down to 50%. If Smash ever gets a few moments to throw out some abilities, it's so scary. He's one of those Ezreals that just gets more damage, right?
Dr. is like, please true shot that. I need some minions, man. He's like, God. Oh, for me? He immediately walked towards it and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Dr. You can have it.
I need him to sell his Berserker's Greaves and just buy Swifties. Like, I need him to go faster than this. It's making me so anxious.
Well, maybe they'll get a kill and he'll get excited and he'll run a little bit faster.
We've got Elder Drake up in 4 minutes time. Maybe that's where this game will be decided, Wolf. I don't know.
I just think that like the lack of engage for T1 from behind, you can feel it a lot more. And now that the Jinx is actually relevant in this game, still 2,000 gold behind, by the way, but still is going to have a huge amount of damage output with the pick setups that KT have here. And someone has to go in. It's Tank Doran going in, but he doesn't have his arm guard anymore, you know? And yes, Oner has Zonias, but he's not the engage. It's really Faker who has to maybe try to set something up here. And it gets kind of scary. And getting caught, as Wei has for a lot of this game, isn't necessarily going to happen anymore. And it's not necessarily going to be the game-changing pick if you do get it, especially because KT can turn off of Wei's death so well, and they have so many times already, especially because on this Wukong, his angles he's found have been so good this game. So much of the reason that KT swing back in gold as heavily as they did is because they didn't have that many turrets killed. They suddenly got a lot of turrets.
They got all of them. So they equalized, and actually they took an extra inner because T1 hadn't quite managed to get the bottom lane inner turret as Dr. realizing that Smash still does have a lot of items.
Baron is up in 30 seconds. Oner doesn't have flash. He is Nidalee, so, you know, steals are possible, so they're going to have to do their due diligence about vision, which they haven't quite been able to do just yet.
I was going to say, do they have to? It's KT. Maybe the rules don't apply.
They should.
Yes, should is definitely, that's the operative word.
Instead, they're going to go buy items, and now T1 is going to have full vision control. They had vision on the right side of the pit where they were looking for a potential opportunity to make a play around a Baron start, and now they just have full prio entirely. So now that Engage Palm lets them initiate, especially because
they're running at Dr. who is once again taking too much damage. That is another two-shot barrage. He just walks too slow, ladies and gentlemen. Now KT trying to make up for it. Keria gonna go down. Oner goes golden, but it does not save him. And everyone's just in the KT blender. Cuz looking for it, taking matters into his own hands, gets the extended range on the Q, and Smash goes down. Doran is tank jacks. I don't know what he's supposed to really do here. He goes golden a little bit, and then BDD takes him down. And Faker is running for the hills. The Brambleback will be able to block some of the damage, but KT, after using Dr. as bait, are going to be able to win the fight, and it's only the GOAT that is left alive.
Well, for now.
Oh, let's see. He is now on vision. Still getting hunted down. I think he gets some Cinders. Yeah, he should be all right.
Cinders are unfair. That's cheating.
Yeah. Now KT going to get the Baron. They can now use the Baron. Maybe wait 4 seconds. But now they can use the Baron to take an Elder. And so KT are really in favor.
Keria's like, I'm Shirelia'sing, and everyone's like, I'm walking fast. We're getting on Duckdom, and Duckdom is just like, they can't play the game. The problem is Cuz is like, wow, man, they all walked right into my Cyclone.
So much Cyclone value.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you guys are all walking all on top of each other towards my AD carry, and it really makes me upset. He presses R, they all get knocked into the air, and then BDD comes over here to help clean up the kills. Man, if Duckdom somehow miraculously survives there, imagine the Jinx value too in the fight like that. And it was all just based on Keria being like, I think we run on him. He pressed 2, or whatever he's got his Shirley's on, probably 2, and ran at him, and yes, Operation Kill Duckdom was
and honestly, I don't think it was the worst call. It was the fact that Cuz was able to find that perfect angle. As Keria, bit of a Captain Jack there on the Curials. Sorry, the Kales.
The Kales.
The Kales, Curials, Scimitar, Crucible.
Michaels, find it right next to Ross.
Yeah, there we go.
Buy some crafts and some used clothing. Perfect. He does a decent amount of damage here.
He also is so tanky, and he's got a locket for some reason, which is cool, because it means that maybe when the next True Shot Barrage comes around, he'll be able to shield it.
Elder is going to be Faker on the flank.
Flank angle. Oh, this is kind of absurd.
Perfect is like, I don't know, something's not right.
And if they kill Cuz here, that is actually kind of huge. They spot Faker here for a moment. Doran dives in on top of Perfect, but he taxis himself out using the Galio. And Doran is now going to pay the price. Oh, T1! That may have been a game-losing play because the Elder Dragon just came up. Faker's able to get out, but it's a 4 versus 5.
All right, KT gonna have to make the call. They still have Baron. I think just pushing rather than Elder is definitely the way.
Yep, not wanting to take the risk here, but it does give them an opportunity. Oh, BDD makes the play, catches Keria, and the zap almost lands. Smash able to create the distance over Faker is dead, and Wei is now pushing forward. KT not risking this Elder buff at all, and it is only Smash left alive. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He takes down Wei. At least he gets that one, but it is 3 games. It was always going to be 3 games.